Haley Harvick, Folds of Honor Scholarship recipient and Baylor graduate, waves the green flag. We're underway in Atlanta. Elliott, Logano, then everybody.
And we already saw right there at the start, sometimes that outside groove is a bit of a disadvantage when you're on the front row. We saw that with Eric Almirola. When he took off there, that car did not get up to speed. He's already lost a couple positions.
Kurt Busch serving his pass-through penalty for failing inspection 3 times. That will put him deep toward the end of the lead lap when he gets back up to speed.
Mike, Chase's dad, Bill Elliott, won here 5 times. That's the first lap Chase has ever led in a cup race at Atlanta Motor Speedway right there.
Wow.
And remember, just a week ago, these two guys that are 1-2 right now, Joey Logano, Chase Elliott, going for that win. You see right there, Kurt Busch coming off pit road. He's going to be a lap down at the very beginning of this race. That's a costly mistake by that team not being able to get their inspection.
Eric Jones moves up to 8th. Here comes Jimmy Johnson. He's picked up 2 already from the start. These are the other Busch brothers, I'm told. The Korn brothers.
Now, what's Kevin Harvick doing on the top groove? That guy only knows one line around here. That Harvick line around the bottom, and he goes by his teammate by using that top groove.
Experimenting, maybe?
Well, hey, you go where the driver or the car in front of you isn't. When they're punching that big of a hole in the air, you need clean air, and that's what makes Kevin Harvick so good. He's not really just we laugh about it, and we show how good he is around the bottom, and he gets that clean air, goes back down to the bottom. But he showed right there, he's got a fast race car, and he's willing to put that car wherever he needs to.
Right behind Boyer, Eric Jones on the move. He's already picked up 4 spots.
I can't even stress to you, Mike, how challenging it is to blast into the corners here at 180, 190 miles per hour. All the bumps, getting the heights right, getting the balance right, trying to hook the line around the bottom and do it with absolutely no practice. Woo, you see both of these guys, Eric Jones, Bobble. Yeah, there's a huge bump at the bottom groove through 1 and 2. You saw both of the cars of Alex Bowman and Eric Jones get sideways as they went over that bump. On board here with Jimmy Johnson.
Trouble early for B.J. McLeod. He's coasted onto pit road in his self-owned car. They wrecked last week, so they brought a super speedway car here. Great interview with Pat Patterson this morning by B.J., but he's on pit road early. All right, Bubba Wallace to the outside of Matt Kenseth. Racing for 23rd.
You can see right there how difficult it is for Matt Kenseth to actually keep those left side tires on the line on the bottom. He got there, but he couldn't keep it there, and it cost him a lot of time. And that's the risk that you take, Mike, is that, yes, there's speed when you hook that paint and the grip that's on the paint that gets created, as we see Christopher Bell going to the outside of Austin Dillon here. But if you miss that groove, if you miss that extra grip down there, you're going to lose about a half a second that lap.
Wow. 91 laps complete here in Atlanta. Martin Truex, the race leader, drawing a bead on Bubba Wallace, the 17th place car. Let's go back and revisit that pass for the lead.
This is Kevin Harvick, our leader, coming off of turn 2. Lost a lot of speed off that corner, and the 19 of Martin Truex Jr. gained a lot of speed using that top groove. Makes the pass nice and clean and easy into turns 3 and 4. Man, I can't really see where Kevin Harvick made any mistake or got off the bottom a whole lot. It just looked like Martin Truex Jr.'s got a lot more grip right now on that top groove.
Here's Jamie on the 4.
And Kevin Harvick has led 46 laps today, and he just radioed to his team and told Rodney Childers after he got passed, he said, I think that was a bad adjustment. In fact, I think it made me worse. So his car kind of going away, and Truex is the opposite in the 19. The car has been really good.
Yeah. Well, you think Kevin could have radioed in and told Rodney happy birthday. He's 44 today. Maybe he did it in pre-race.
No, he just wants to bring home a trophy for his birthday, but up until then, it's going to be all business.
Martin Truex taking a while to get past Bubba Wallace here, and now makes the pass on the outside.
Oh, we got a spin. John Hunter Nemechek goes around coming off of turn 4.
And who had the lucky rabbit's foot? Bubba Wallace. He's the free pass car. That'll be only the second caution flag of the day. Nemechek was 25th.
It was out of control as I've seen a lot of these cars. I'm surprised we haven't seen this happen sooner. Oh yeah, you can see it actually started way back in the middle of the corner as John Hunter Nemechek was not able to be right on the paint. Oh yeah, he just gets up about not even a full half car length in. And the car comes around. He also didn't have a lot of air coming to the front and over the car to create downforce because there was a car right in front of him.
Boyer restarts third behind Truex and Harvick. Here we go.
1. Green. 2x2 only. Stay looking low. Inside. All clear right on your bumper. Still all clear. Looking low. All clear. All clear. About 2 driving away. 1.5. Small run coming. 1 back. Half back. Quarter back. Staying quarter. Right on your bumper. Looking high. Outside bumper. Outside real tight. Outside. You and him right there. 2 back to the 4.
Boyer and Kyle Busch battle for second behind Truex.
Well, that's some great action there on the restart. So hard not to spin your tires, and when you're on that front row, it's easy for those cars behind you to just roll up with maybe a half a mile per hour faster speed, and they can get right to your bumpers. We're 3 wide now going into turn 3. Denny Hamlin locked in the inside. Here comes Stenhouse to the inside. Tyler Reddick.
Stenhouse wants those stage points from the inside. He gets Reddick, and so does Hamlin. Now Chase Elliott, and look at Chase Elliott and Joey Logano. Those two just can't get away from each
No,
other.
they can't.
Jimmy Johnson, the 48, in position to get the final stage point. With 4 to go. 4th place.
20 of Eric Jones trying to make a move on Kevin Harvick for 4th place. He's going to end up losing 3 spots. You can see the back of that car slide out coming off of turn 4.
And Stenhouse keeps coming. Oh, now he and Tyler Reddick going to battle it out side by side. As you watch Jones from Johnson. 5th through 10th all under a blanket here in the closing laps of stage 1.
Yeah, no saving tires, Mike. They know they're going to the end of this stage. They're going to put 4 fresh Goodyears on. So battle it out. Go for it.
Now here's what's at stake here. The starting lineup next week is set by owner points. If you're in the top dozen, you get to pick in the first wave. If you're 13th, you have to pick in the second wave. So how you leave this race in points might determine whether you start first or 24th. As Jones powers around Johnson for 8th.
Joey Logano with a power move to the inside. Going to bring along Christopher Bell as they go by Tyler Reddick.
Great battling as stage 1 draws to a close. 4th place here.
Well, those Toyotas are looking good there at Joe Gibbs Racing. Truex is first, Kyle Busch second. Now Hamlin goes by Harvick for 4th. Of course, don't forget our buddy Clint Boyer there in 3rd place.
Martin Truex, who was the king of stage racing when it was introduced, has never won a stage at Atlanta. He has never won a stage this year, and all that just changed. Martin Truex, by 0.3 of a second over Kyle Busch, wins stage 1.
Around your bumper tandem. Outside 19. Outside. Clear high if you need it. Clear high if you need it. You're driving away from both of them. All clear. No pressure. Bottom's going to have the momentum coming back down. Top's got the momentum. 2 back to the top. 1 back. Half back. Quarter back. Coming outside.
Martin Truex on the outside. From Clint Bowyer, we complete 113 laps. For each of the past 5 races in Atlanta, Atlanta Motor Speedway and Folds of Honor have provided fans with a folded paper flag to hold up on the 13th lap of the race. 13 is symbolic. It represents the 13 original colonies and the 13 folds of a folded flag. Today, fans have been posting their flags to show honor and respect, and we salute all of them here at lap 113. The fight for clean air.
Oh yeah, well both of these guys have it, because you got Martin Truex Jr. on the outside with the clean air. Clint Bowyer battling on that inside lane. But you're right, Mike, they do not want to give up that clean air, so this battle continues on. I think Clint Bowyer's going to have the advantage now on the bottom groove. You see Truex was able to hold his own on that outside for the first couple laps, but as those tires start to lose grip each lap, the bottom groove was the place to be. Jamie?
On that last stop for Clint Bowyer, they added a little tape on the nose and made an air pressure adjustment, but Bowyer's saying he doesn't have the grip that he feels like the guys around him have.
Bowyer really sent it into turn 3, trying to establish that lead, and he did. Hamlin now ahead of Chase Elliott for 3rd. Hamlin a bottom feeder, and Chase up there rim riding.
Well, like you said, Mike, looking for that clean air. You know, if you go and follow Denny Hamlin to the bottom of this racetrack, you're going to lose a lot of downforce. So Chase is choosing to move up the racetrack, straddle one of those seams that make up the different lanes. Tires get on those seams, lose a lot of grip there, so you see him straddling it, but getting that clean air and carry the momentum off the top groove.
So there's Clint Bowyer, and there's a look at his lead, which when pit stops cycled through was 6 seconds, and now is down to 2.5. Bowyer has been told they want him to try to stretch it out and finish the stage.
Well, going to be tough for him to do, because he's been overheating that right rear tire. We believe he's just wearing through the center of that tire by sliding the car, and that's really kind of separating the cord and exposing it in the center. So, if he's going to make that thing last, he's going to have to drive the car really straight, which he's going to have to give up a little bit of speed here in the early portion. Don't forget, too, remember how hard he fought for that lead and that clean air with Martin Truex Jr. on that restart after the stage.
That had to make those tires mad.
Oh, yeah.
And you saw the result when the right rear came off. Jamie?
Well, Johnny Kosmeyer, the crew chief on the 14, just told Clint Bowyer Goodyear was down there and their team all looked at that right rear tire and said there were blisters on it, so they believe it was not air pressure related, it was a tire issue.
Okay, thanks.
Well, it's a abrasive track, a very long, fast corner at high speeds. It's like a little bit of everything, but woo, man, that's when, as a driver, you don't want to know what that looks like.
And when you think about blistering a tire, it's the same as the blister on your skin. It just comes from excessive heat, but a lot of times that comes from a race car being very loose at a racetrack this abrasive.
So you're saying Bowyer's going to have a blister on the ball of his throttle foot?
Well, again, he's going to have to run 63 laps to run this thing out to the end, Mike, because we are still essentially 34 laps from the end of this stage. Remember, he pitted at lap 147. I think that's doable on fuel, the way the pace is slowed down, but that's asking a lot out of that right rear tire.
And if he stops, Larry, there are already 6 cars 1 lap down. It would be difficult to get back on the lead lap before the end of the stage, right?
Yeah, with him the only one, if he stopped, he'd be the only one doing this on 2 stops, and it's kind of put him in a box, Mike.
Well, and Larry, to me, if they're going to stop, they got to stop right now. They've got to take that risk. But you saw how much time Bowyer lost off of turn 2. He was trying to run that line, that white and red line, and it came off the bottom and did a big slide, abusing that right rear tire some more.
9th place. Chase and Brad. And Jimmy.
Yeah, closing up on Jimmy Johnson. You know, I was never good at running the bottom in 1 and 2, Mike. The bumps, the angle you had to enter, you know, just the patience that you had to have. I loved running that top groove right up against the wall, straddling that seam as we've seen Chase Elliott do. Now here in 3 and 4, you almost have to be at the bottom to make the fastest laps. I do think you can save those tires a little bit by running that very high line and a wider line, you know, in turns 3 and 4, sorry, in turns 1 and 2. Got to be really disciplined to run that bottom lane.
So watching Brad Keselowski, he's past Jimmy Johnson. He's trying to get past Chase Elliott. That's Reed Sorensen in the 7 up to the high side. Another Atlanta native, Sorensen, Peachtree City. So now Martin Truex can draw a bead on Clint Bowyer. He's got it down to 0.4 of a second and closing.
But that advantage of those new tires, I'm starting to see it kind of level out a little bit for Martin Truex Jr. because that last lap, actually, Truex was only about 1/10 faster, where he'd been 6/8 of a second faster each lap.
Eighth and 9th here. And Eric Jones trying to come back into the top 10.
And I just wonder if Jimmy Johnson's feeling something in those tires as well. Did he overheat a tire or maybe even blister a tire, because he's been losing a lot of positions these last couple of laps.
Trying to get to the end of stage 2, which is 28 laps away.
Big slide on the 48 of Jimmy Johnson. That Ally Chevrolet coming off of turn 4. That's Stanley Toyota. Number 20 Eric Jones looking to get by Jimmy on the bottom side. Does it pretty easily.
Ryan Blaney 12th and closing on Johnson. Makes the pass.
Yeah, I mean, when Jimmy Johnson, you know, is not putting up any kind of a fight for these positions, I really think he's just trying to hold on to that car right now on those tires.
Jamie on Martin Truex.
Yeah, well, Martin has been really happy with the car. Hasn't really had any suggestions today, but now he's saying, you guys tightened up the rear a bit too much, and that's been the cause. Although now he's turning up the wick and trying to go to the inside of Clint Bowyer to see if he can make the pass and take over the lead.
Yeah, I don't think Bowyer's going to put up much of a fight here, because again, he's just trying to get to the end of this stage and take care of those tires. But now what Martin Truex Jr. has to think about is his teammate Kyle Busch. He's been moving along here, closing that gap, going to go to second place around Clint Bowyer.
Bowyer just trying to stay on the lead lap to the end of the stage, and to do that he can't abuse those tires any further. Truex trying to create a little distance here.
I'd say that last time by, I know there's a little bit of traffic, but Kyle Busch, fastest car on the racetrack.
So the lead tightens up between the Joe Gibbs Toyota teammates.
As we go on board here and look at the telemetry for Clint Bowyer, about the only thing Clint Bowyer can do. Now remember, he ran really hard. We talked about this already in a battle with Martin Truex Jr. on the restart at the start of this stage. I think that did some damage to that right rear tire early in the stage. This run, if he's nice and smooth and doesn't slide that right rear tire as much as he did, doesn't try to abuse it in the early stages, I think this tire might be able to last the 63 laps he needs to get to.
Well, those 3 or 4 laps where they ran side by side for the lead, and Bowyer kept shoving it into turn 3 just as hard as he could, and finally prevailed. That could not have been good for those tires.
No, and you wouldn't think that you could damage a tire early, but you know, a little bit of damage there, and then that longevity after running on it, sliding it on this abrasive track. And the other thing that Clint can do right here is just try not to abuse that tire as he battles with Denny Hamlin. You know, this is a time where you've got to run your own race, race the racetrack, not the competition.
So Hamlin takes over third. Truex, Kyle Busch, and Hamlin 1, 2, 3. With teammates Bowyer and Harvick 4 and 5, and then Bowman 5th.
And you know, one last thing on this racetrack and tires, I think of all the tracks, this is probably more than any other that you can actually feel how much you're abusing those tires. As you go off into the corner and the car starts to step out, you feel it, because you can slide more around this track than you can any other track because of how abrasive it is and how much the pace drops. So you know as a driver when you're hurting the right front tire or the right rear tire.
Now Matt DiBenedetto had climbed up, I believe, to 7th, and now he's lost a few. Eric Jones going by. And now here comes Harvick. Oh, look at Bowyer's car. Loose. Oh, boy.
That's what you can't do.
This is capital L, capital double O, capital S, capital E.
And, you know, this isn't helping because you've got the 17 of Chris Buescher taking the air off the 14 car of Clint Bowyer. And just by right now, I'm sure he is not loving the grip level and how loose this race car is.
So Harvick Motors passed into 4th place as we come down to 10 to go in stage 2. Fighting for the last stage point, Chase Elliott, Eric Jones, and then Matt DiBenedetto 11th. Spinner off turn 4 into the grass at the start-finish line, Michael McDowell.
We saw his teammate John Hunter Nemechek spin in that same spot earlier in this race.
Lap 202, 4th caution flag of the day.
You know who that big sigh came from, Mike? Johnny Klossmeyer, preaching for Clint Bowyer.
There was no contact. McDowell looks like he just lost the car coming off turn number 4. He was 25th, 1 lap down. The black car coming into frame.
That'll help.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, he did.
And was that his teammate?
I hope not. I sure hope not.
I mean, I wouldn't say it was intentional. I think you know, McDowell just slid up off the bottom a little bit, opened up the door, and I believe that was the 38 John Hunter Nemechek that tried to squeeze to the inside, made a little contact with the left rear. If he did make contact, he definitely pushed the air to that left rear to force that car to go around.
Cole Custer got the free pass. We're back under green. Kyle Busch, Martin Truex.
We saw that battle off the end of pit road, and the 4-car Kevin Harvick was in the preferred lane, but even he spun the tires, and now we've got a drag race. I think Martin Truex Jr. is going to be pretty happy the way this start has gone. Now he's going to get a push from Blaney, and he'll take the lead.
Fighting hard for stage points.
Oh, Kyle Busch sliding up the racetrack.
Yes.
Going to lose some positions here.
Chase Elliott with a run. And every point matters, Jeff, because Martinsville's starting lineup is based on the top 12 getting the first 12 draws. 4 wide off turn 4. Good grief. Woo. Eric Jones.
Oh, Jones with an issue.
Well, he had a long pit stop because they were trying to fix that throttle problem. He is running, but not picking up speed.
He's coasting right now, Mike.
Yep.
That car, I'm not sure if it's under power or if it's a tire issue. Chase Elliott going after Kyle Busch here. Just coming to 1 to go in this stage.
And the pits are closed, so bad luck for Jones.
Nice
Martin
work by
Truex.
Ryan Blaney to get in the second position.
Right front flat on Jones. He makes it to pit road. Here's the fight for 8th. Boyer and Keselowski with Johnson 10th.
Teammates battling it out here to the line. Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch.
Martin Truex, stage winner again. 40th career stage win. That's 8 more than any other driver.
Big push all line here, tight. Still there, clear the 19. All pushing still. First two clear, You're clear up. 19's going to come with the run, just get up there. You have to block him a little bit here. All right, now get to your bottom. He's trying to go top, probably. Half back, trying to go top. You're still clear now. He's out of line to the bottom. You and the 18. You and the 18. 19's come with you. Still there. Still out of line. Clear. 19 come with a big run to the top with you. Clear. All clear. Hit your mark. 2 back to 2 wide. 19 will be in your mirror. 2 back when you get to 3.
And that's how you restart 3rd and take the lead at Atlanta.
What a move by Kevin Harvick. The way he set up Kyle Busch to take that lead. You saw him get that run down the back straightaway, use a push from Kyle Busch's teammate Martin Truex Jr. and then dove to the outside and got to the quarter panel and completed the pass.
Keselowski. Boy, they've woken up that 2 car. Started 4th, 3rd, and drops 1 to 4th.
Like I said, Brad Keselowski, this 2-team. Oh, big slide by Chase Elliott trying to cross over on Brad Keselowski as Brad slid up in front. But what is it about this team and this driver, this 2 car, that knows how to fight his way back and overcome things and get himself in position for good things to happen late in this race? Here's that crossover move. Chase Elliott sees the 2 slide up, tries to turn underneath them and loses all the downforce. Slides, doesn't check up though.
No.
Chase Elliott stayed in the gas and still was able to make that pass happen.
That's one of Keselowski's favorite moves, that top to bottom elevator shot. And Chase trying it there. 2nd place, teammates.
Well, we had heard from Kyle Busch. Adam Stevens and Kyle have done a great job making some good adjustments and getting the balance right on the 18 of Kyle Busch. And then on the flip side, Mark Truex Jr., looks like he and James Small, they've maybe gone the wrong direction, or the track has changed. He doesn't seem to be as good right now in this stage of the race.
Last time by, Kevin Harvick's last lap was the fastest lap of the race, 31.57 seconds.
Jeff, I do think this track is changing. The ambient temperature is coming down, which means the track temperature is coming down. So this is definitely going to go through some changes over these last 100 laps.
Ryan Newman 21st, 19 seconds back. 28 lead lap cars back to Ty Dillon.
There's that battle up front. You can see Mark Truex Jr. about every other lap, he just chops off about a half of a tenth on Kevin Harvick's lead. Now Kevin Harvick, now these tires have been worn down a little bit. The pace starting to drop. You can see him start to work that bottom lane that he does so well down in 1 and 2.
Chase Elliott running the high line, 3 and 4.
That
fell to Keselowski.
Yeah, this lap car is going to affect his line. See Suarez running the same line that Chase Elliott does. Nice job adapting and moving around the Suarez vehicle and not losing too much time to Ryan Blaney, he's working hard to try to make that pass on Chase Elliott. It's going to dive down to the bottom here, 1 and 2. Look how high on the racetrack Chase Elliott's running, how low Ryan Blaney is.
Well, Chase is up in the Harry Gant groove now. And that's one of the fun things about coming to Atlanta and watching a race, is it is such a multi-groove racetrack, and drivers search around and find different places to run at different times during the race.
That's what every driver's dream is. I mean, yes, you have to have a fast race car and a car that's not too abrasive on the tires or wears them out too much, but you play a big role as a driver in that. You play a role in the speed that you find, how you navigate through traffic, and what you do to treat those tires well. And man, as a driver, I loved this racetrack.
Larry, 78 laps to go. What are you thinking?
I've been crunching numbers on tire windows and fuel windows. So we went back racing with 108 laps to go. Based on what teams were doing in that last stage, if you split it right down the middle, that means you need to run 54 laps per run. So they'll basically pit around lap 271. And Mike, I can't make this stuff up. Do you know how many laps Boyer had run earlier when that caution came out for Michael McDowell? 54 laps.
Well, listen, if I'm Johnny Klossmeyer, I'm thinking about how many stops is that, Larry, that you had for everybody else? However many, if it was 3 or 2, I want one more if I'm Boyer.
Well, again, you can split this in one stop, but there is a way that you could divide it into thirds. Not sure anybody's thinking that, Jamie.
Yeah, and Johnny Klossmeyer, Ford Clip Boyer, was talking about that very thing when we went green. He said we can split it in half and do 55 laps, but I am concerned about the right rear. So I talked to his tire specialist and asked if there's anything he can do at this point. He said I could add a little air pressure, but we have not done that yet. We'll think about it on this next stop.
I mean, the way this track is new tires are so important to me. If you know no cautions are coming out, the faster strategy is a 2-stop strategy, and I love fresh tires where I don't have to worry about them, but I'm not a strategist or a crew chief.
47 laps to go. Kevin Harvick in front of Martin Truex by 2.05 seconds. Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, Ryan Blaney, the top 5, and Blaney thinks he may have a vibration. He's called into his crew to be on the alert.
It's always a fear, coming to pit road. You got to be careful getting on pit road. You don't want to give up much time. Then under green flag, and this could be the final stop, and you're just trying to do everything right to get your driver out ahead of who he's competing with, and sometimes that's what could cause you to just hit or miss a couple of those lug nuts. Jamie?
And Brad Keselowski, before he pitted, said he was too tight when he came in. They looked at the tires and found spots on the rears, told him to be more careful. He's saying right now the car fired off better, so the two getting better, but he's keeping those tires in his mind.
Now, we told you Eric Jones got back on the lead lap with everyone else pitting. Jones finally did make his stop. Too fast entering.
Oh.
Yep. And Christopher Bell had a 25-second stop. He went from 17th to 25th, falling off the lead lap. So 20 lead lap cars now back to Bubba Wallace with 45 to go.
So Brad Keselowski, one of those drivers that maybe stayed out a little bit longer than some others, cut by a couple, 2-3 laps. Lost some positions, but you'll see he'll start to make those up as we run green here if it continues under green.
So on your right, Ryan Blaney, who may have a vibration. On the left, Kevin Harvick. A little contrast in style. Whoa.
Woo-hoo-hoo. Man, talk about a fast steering box and those hands working. Think about doing that for 500 miles. Going to have next time, you can see Kevin Harvick waving out the window to one of the lap cars. I can't wait to talk to Ryan Blaney next time and ask him why he's got 2 stripes on the steering wheel. I have a pretty good idea that the white stripe around there is where he kind of references that wheel. But you would think that the manufacturer of the steering wheel could maybe take that other line out. Hard to say.
Well, look, Kevin Harvick's driving one-handed. You know, if he was Dick Trickle, he'd have time to light up a cigarette maybe. I don't know, you know, just taking it easy. But his lead is not growing. It's 1.8 seconds over Martin Truex right now. Difference in steering wheel diameters too. I guess that's just a matter of driver preference.
Or it's old school, new school, Mike.
Okay.
I mean, you know, I have seen where a lot of these teams have been able to get the grip and the front geometry in these cars to work those front tires a little bit better, running a smaller wheel, running a faster steering box. And it is a lot of it driver preference. If you've got really quick hands and you like to drive it like that, then go with it, because there might be a little extra speed and grip in those front tires with it. But I like the old school way of Kevin Harvick, just nice big wheel, nice and smooth, just pulls it right around the bottom and makes it look easy. Look at Chase Elliott up on the fence down through 3 and 4, and how much speed that carries him down the front straightaway.
Gets Kurt Busch, and here he comes after Boyer.
Long way around that top groove versus that bottom lane.
But boy, it's working for him. Look at the run he gets off the corner. So Elliott moves to 7th.
Now that last time by, Chase Elliott was actually about 0.2 faster than our leader Kevin Harvick.
Hendrick Chevy's now 6th, 7th, 15th, and William Byron, who had a flat tire early, 35th.
Yeah, Jimmy Johnson leading the Chevy brigade in 6th position. He came in a little bit earlier. Cliff Daniels brought him in 2-3 laps earlier than the rest of the field, or most of them anyway, and that has paid off. He's been able to hold off that 6th position, but 17 laps to go. Let's see if he can maintain that position.
Jimmy, who got the engines fired up to run this race today, running in 6th. Nemechek just ahead, 1 lap down. And Kurt Busch trying to get back to Chase Elliott.
You know, Mike and Jeff, we've heard Jamie Little talk about air pressure changes all day long. Let me clarify something. We're not talking about air pressure changes like when you go to the service station to put air in your tires. These guys are changing air pressure in these tires quarter pound, half pound. It would be rare if they do more than a 1 pound adjustment in these tires. That's how sensitive these race cars are.
Wow. Now, Stenhouse 14th, Kenseth 15th, and Bowman is the last lead lap car. They're in 16th. Kurt Busch up for 7th.
Working every square inch of this racetrack to try to make this pass on Chase Elliott. Missed the bottom right there, had to go to the middle and then the top. Chase Elliott took advantage of that on the bottom.
Now, we talked earlier about how points are figuring into this. If Jimmy Johnson could pass 3 cars, he would draw with the top 12 for starting positions at Martinsville based on owner points. As it is right now, he has to draw 13 to 24.
Wow. But you can hear the right rear tires come unwound again. That tread blistered on the 14 here of Clint Boyer. He's going to have to come to pit road. Well, he said he didn't think he could make it, and he hasn't.
Nope, here he comes off turn 4 to the pit lane, and Clint Boyer is going to surrender a top 10 spots to get new tires so he can finish this race. Now there are 10 cars 1 lap down, and so Boyer will be one of them. Won't be the first car 1 lap down, but he will end up somewhere between 15th and 25th. Another blistered up right rear.
Unfortunately, that has been the story of his day.
So Boyer should be able to stay 1 lap down, but he won't have any chance to get the free pass.
And, you know, I was just going to say, this is one of the reasons why, if you're Kevin Harvick, you want to build up a sizable lead on the second place runner, Martin Truex Jr., because as the 4 car of Kevin Harvick has caught some of these lap cars like Alex Bowman, they're fighting to stay on the lead lap in case that caution comes out, and has actually made life a little bit more difficult and has allowed Truex to close in, you know, maybe about a second to that lead.
Sure, Jeff, with 11 laps to go, you have little to lose by battling to stay on that lead lap. Coming to 10 to go, Larry.
Yeah, I guess I've been watching these issues with Clint Boyer in the 14 car, Johnny Klossmeyer with right rears, and there's no question they have 3 teammates, and it certainly weighs on, for example, Rodney Childress, Kevin Harvick, the 14. What's going on over there at the 14? But these crew chiefs know where all of their setups are, and I bet you already by now they know what was a little bit different on that 14 car that has pushed them over the edge with that right rear tire.
Yeah, no doubt, Larry. And if I had to guess, they knew pretty early on there's probably not much they're going to be able to do to save that right rear tire from this problem happening every run.
Well, 1 time is an incident, 2 times is a coincidence, 3 times is a pattern.
Next, you're going to tell me 4 times is a trend. 9 to go. Alex Bowman goes a lap down. That leaves us 13 cars on the lead lap. And we're keeping a close eye on Eric Almirola in 18th because if he loses 2 more spots or Jimmy Johnson gains 2, one of them will get to draw for a top 12 spot at Martinsville. The other will not.
Yeah, because if you're 13th in owner points, what, you could start 25th based on that random draw at a track where track position, Martinsville and the short tracks, track position is huge.
Jimmy in 6th, 20 seconds off the lead, 21 now. And about 3 seconds back of Kevin Hamlin. Excuse me, Denny Hamlin. Kevin Hamlin's a spotter. Kevin Harvick now 3.4 ahead of Martin Truex. Harvick just driving away with 8 laps to go.
Yeah, Harvick lost a little bit in some lap traffic, but then he was able to open that back up. Here's that battle. Oh boy, that gets tight 3 wide with Ty Dillon in the middle for Chase Elliott, Kurt Busch. But yeah, once Harvick cleared some of that lap traffic, he really opened it back up.
And these two, while they're battling, they're gaining on Jimmy Johnson. About a half a tenth a lap here.
Yeah, again, those tires that have about 3 or 4 laps more on them for Jimmy Johnson, this is when you really start to feel the effects of that. Oh boy, Kurt Busch cutting Chase Elliott a break right there. He could have slid up in front of him and pushed the issue.
Great battle for 7th place.
Oh man, this is fun to watch.
And at 2nd place, a pair of teammates. Martin Truex, Kyle Busch. Truex has now dropped to 3.5 off the lead. And Ryan Newman just ahead, 1 lap down. We'll see if 2nd changes hands in these final 5 laps. How good is Kevin Harvick and how hard is he charging? There's only 9 other cars left on the lead lap.
That's unbelievable. The tear he's been on. There goes Kyle Busch to 2nd place. Truex fighting back though on the outside.
Wow.
Just sliding around at 180, 190 miles per hour, Mike. That's all.
Right. So the Roush Fenway teammates, Newman up high, and his teammate Chris Buescher has gone a lap down, 21st. And Kurt's going after Jimmy Johnson.
See those fresh tires on the 14 of Clint Boyer after having that regular tire issue.
And
he's just having fun passing cars right now, taking out a little bit of his anger and frustration.
And with our dynamic scoring, Jimmy Johnson had made it up into that top 12 in points until Kurt Busch passed him. Three to go. Matt DiBenedetto, we're told, had a tire coming apart and is now on the tail end of being 1 lap down.
Well, I know it's only 2 laps to go, but boy, I'd be worried if I'm some of these guys about those tires, even with 2 laps to go.
Joey Logano, 25 seconds back, is the last car on the lead lap. And the white flag is waving as we have 1 lap to go. And that is the mercy flag for the rest of this field.
Yeah, this has been an impressive day. Kevin Harvick was strong at times, but he and Rodney Childers had to work very hard to get their car back to the front. And I give Kevin a lot of credit for how hard he pushed to take the lead away from Kyle Busch.
We'll light that candles on Rodney Childers' birthday cake because Kevin Harvick wins Atlanta.
Great pit stop and what? I don't know what you guys did to this thing at the end, but great job.
51st career victory for Harvick, who takes sole possession of 12th on the all-time NASCAR win list, breaking a tie with Junior Johnson and Ned Jarrett. 2nd win of the year, and his 3rd at Atlanta, tying him with Kurt Busch for the 2nd most wins here among active drivers. Jimmy Johnson has 5.
Kevin, I was just saying what a special place this is for you. And you just went reverse around the track with that salute. What was going through your mind at that point?
Well, I didn't get to show it very good a couple years ago with my gloves on, so I made sure I took my gloves off this year. Obviously, first win came for me here at Atlanta, and this is just a racetrack that I've taken a liking to, and you always come back and have those memories, and now you want to celebrate, everything that Dale Earnhardt did for this sport, and to come here and be able to do that with wins and go to victory lane is pretty special. So just got to thank everybody from Busch Light. We've got corn all over our car this week. So Busch Light for the Farmers campaign. Go buy all those corn cans so we can donate 100 grand.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our fans for your support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.